mention Momar?
Huh?
You gonna mention Momar?
I think, are we wrong?
Yeah, two
Oh,
channels.
yeah. Hey, folks, welcome to the UGG TV Intellectual Hour. We're just tickled to death to have you here, and we're real pleased to be coming to you tonight. We're coming from Lafayette, Tennessee, US of A, and we're located high above Big Creek at the studios of WLAF. It's channel 12 on Comcast Television, local television channel. And we're pleased to be with you, and like I say, this is our intellectual hour.
We need one.
And the reason it's our intellectual hour is we decided to throw all the chickens out of here before we started the program.
Yeah. You know, we had a fellow mention the habits of chickens and their hillbilly practices one time when we were talking about building those. You remember that?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know.
I don't think he's with us anymore.
You know, it's perfect.
I think he crossed over into the great zonest hell in the world.
With sleeping, with having chickens sleep in the bedroom and roost on the end of the bed as long as you keep them turned around the right way.
Yeah, I've had that problem. I've got one guinea.
I don't have any.
I know you don't. You let me down. I've got one guinea, and I have to scrub my porch right off because there ain't but one place in the whole 80-acre farm
that he can use as a bathroom.
that he can use the bathroom, and it's right there on my front porch, right there where I walk. Now, if he's on the other side, I wouldn't care.
Right.
I mean, you know, everybody's got to go when they got to go.
Don't you reckon if you walked out there barefoot, that would cure your athlete's feet?
It probably would. I'd say it would. You know, when it, in the wintertime, when it freezes, you trip over it.
Folks, we carry on this nonsense about for an entire hour, so you might as well get used to it.
Yeah, don't
I'm your host, Bob
change
Andrews, better known as Calm, Docile, Quiet, Bob, and Wild Ronnie.
Better known as Swave and Deboner.
Right, there you go. And, you know, we're just apt to come up with about anything on this show tonight. Do you have any special...
Hold on a minute. What did you say?
I said I'll let you guys go over a minute tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't care. We get an F in anyway. Go ahead, Bob.
I said, do you have any special little showings you're going to do tonight?
No, not tonight. I'm going to let everybody rest. I'm getting my powder dried up good. I'll be back later.
Good deal. We talk a great deal, folks. You folks on the internet, we talk a great deal about local affairs, but we're bad to dip into the area of the great unwashed people here and talk about national politics also, which, you know,
it's an old show.
the Republicans are well on their way to nominating a candidate, and it looks like it's going to be...
You're going to be on the Day Show in about 30
Who's
seconds.
running on the Republican ticket this year?
Where at?
Nationally.
Romney.
Hey?
Romney.
Romney, okay. Good old Southern boy.
Well, no. No, he's not a Southern boy. You're talking about the president?
Yeah.
Mitt Romney.
Right, he's not a good old Southern boy?
No, I hope
Do you reckon he'll have to up and maybe nominate somebody from the South to kind of balance out his...
I think he's kind of weighing getting that there Hispanic guy down there, that there Marco Rubio feller.
Yeah, well, Marco, yeah. You know, that's got a good ring to it, Marco Rubio.
Yeah, if we had Sarah Palin and Marco Rubio, we'd be in business.
We'd do that. Did that right. You know, Sarah Palin is still the best looking woman that ever run for president.
Well, considering that Shirley Chisholm
Well, yeah,
was the only one.
Shirley
Chisholm.
What was her name? The one that
Hillary Clinton.
Huh?
Hillary Clinton.
Well, Hillary and the one that ran with.
Oh, Michelle Bachmann.
No, the one that ran on the Democratic ticket. The first woman that ran for the vice presidency. She was a
died.
real estate person.
You talking about,
I believe she died recently.
mhm.
I can see her face, but I can't remember what.
Geraldine Ferraro.
That's exactly right.
I had that file there in the back
Right.
room.
Hell, folks, we're just talking away here on the UG TV, and we've been talking to people all around the world and back again. Let me ask something. If we talk to people in California, does this have to go all the way east to west, or does it go? I mean, you go from from west to east, all the way back around, or does it go to down to the tip of South America and come back up to California?
Well, it's like the senator from Alaska said one time, the internet is like a bunch of tubes, and it gets in them tubes and it just pours out everywhere.
Oh, it's kind of like a sprinkler in a garden.
Yeah, yeah, we
Okay.
just covered the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Folks, I'm gonna mention this 2 or 3 times. We've decided, now listen to how I explain this to you. If you have recently had, there's a lot of thievery going on.
Yeah.
If you've recently had something stolen, and you'd like to call us and broadcast the news so people can be on the lookout for it, call us. Now,
Right.
the option you'll have when you call, you can tell us who you are so people can call you. I mean, suppose your car got stolen out of your yard today, you can give us your phone number and let people call you and tell you, or we will simply instruct the callers who might have seen your stolen car going down the road to call the sheriff's department. So just keep that on the back burner. I'm going to mention that 2 or 3 times, kind of get you used to it, because
Right.
if we can catch some of these thieves, and there won't be as many thieves. I mean, they'll all be paying probation money.
Right. Won't the government like that? Let me tell you about probation.
Okay.
Poor working boy
Yeah.
goes through the money hole park out here,
Yeah.
and they've got one sheriff car facing into the fishing area,
Yeah.
and one facing out, and they're sitting there chewing the fat, and they have reduced the speed limit down to 25. He comes through there, and they supposedly, they don't have any way of clocking him, but they say he's doing 45 mile an hour through there, and they pull him over.
Was he in a borrowed truck?
Now,
Was he in a borrowed truck?
he was in my truck.
Mm.
Okay. When they got through with him in court yesterday, he had a fine. He had 2 years supervised probation, which means, for that offense, which means he's going to be paying $50 a month for the next 2 years for going to the Money Hole Park.
$1,200 ticket.
Yeah, $1,200 ticket.
That'll teach you.
And hopefully I'm a law-abiding person, okay? And
Well,
that can get you in trouble. You see what kind of trouble it got me in by having business license.
Yeah.
Now,
If you don't fool with that stuff, you're all right.
If I'd had an unlicensed business, they wouldn't have done anything to me. But hopefully I'm a law-abiding person. But when you look at the statistics for Campbell County, and you find out that per capita, per population, we have more law enforcement officers here in Campbell County than anywhere else in the United States.
Well, I don't know the accuracy of that statistic. I assume that you researched it, know, but it certainly makes me feel safe to know I'm well guarded like that.
Sure, I went down to North Carolina this weekend. I drove around somewhere around 700 miles round trip, maybe a little over. And I saw one law enforcement officer. No, I saw two. Two law enforcement officers. That's all I saw. I came back to Campbell
Did it
County.
take both of them to get you arrested?
No, I came back to Campbell County Monday afternoon about 8 and met 4 between Caryville and the high school.
You know, it looks like they could put a security camera up on the walking trail, and all them people around, they ought to have one to watch the camera.
Right, yeah. It looks like we could do that. But what I'm saying, with all this law enforcement you have here, well, I had one stop as I was coming to the show tonight. Had one stop down there about in front of Dixie Concrete on the main road.
And we had one up here too, somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, all you hear in La Follette and in Jacksboro is sirens. And one thing that I can't understand, every time they have a fire up here, they send a fire truck from Jacksboro. And every time they have a fire down that way, they send one from the main office up here.
You know, that's to keep the gas stirred up so it won't go stale.
I mean, I guess it got
TV.
It got a
Hey, here.
Talk to us.
I just want to make a quick comment about your subject of the fact we live in a police state. Now, the czars of Russia, you know, Tsar Alexander, Tsar Nicholas I.
You're not talking about them czars Obama made, are you?
No, these are the czars of Russia. That was under a totalitarianism, right?
Yes, sir.
Supposedly a police state totalitarian government. Did you know Tsar Nicholas, when he lost the throne in 1917, he only had one cop for every 55,000 people?
Them people must have been pretty well behaved.
In the country of Russia, they only had one cop for every 55,000 people. Now you say go night over there. Little town, 3,000 people. They got a dozen full-time cops. Now that is one cop for less than, about 280 people. One cop for every 280 people.
Well, it ought to be at least one-on-one. I mean...
You tell me, you know, I drove through on night a few years back, had a radar detector in them days. I got hit 4 times in 4 blocks.
That's working out, wasn't it? How many full-time law enforcement officers do we have in Campbell County, counting the city and the county together? Do you know?
I do not know. I'm sure we could call all the police departments and everything, but then you got them undercover TBI agents, them undercover GBI agents, them undercover FBI agents. You know, it takes a lot of law. It takes a lot of law to keep old David Young and Cliff Jennings in order.
Well, they can come up here and look around a little closer home, too.
We gotta have about 10 cops for each one of them.
Did you tell me that outfit you were talking about the other day got licensed?
They got a license yesterday morning.
Okay.
They showed up at the county clerk's office.
Now, Jerry Chadwell last night said that they didn't have, but his information was a day older than yours.
Well, now Jerry Chadwell's the one that released the information Monday morning that they did not have a business license.
Yeah.
Well,
It was,
if they got a license.
Mario Gibson show Monday night, made public, so therefore they showed up Tuesday morning down at the clerk's office.
Just slipped her
Not a
mind.
business license.
Well, that's good. I like for everybody to have a license. I mean, I think
Well, I think Bob made good points, you know. He had a business license, so they knew how to track him down.
I think they ought to. We shouldn't have to license anything, including dogs and businesses.
Let me ask you something. Are you familiar with the legal remedy for license called waiver and estoppel?
No, I'm not.
Okay. If you allow something to continue knowingly for a period of time, then you try to enforce that. Well, let's say it's licensed. if you have businesses that operate without a license for a long period of time, then you have waived your right to acquire license of other people. And that is an established legal precedent there.
That's Blackstone, ain't it?
Yeah.
That sounds like English common law.
And I believe the cities will follow it by allowing some businesses to operate for years knowingly without a license, come under the waiver and estoppel principle, and I suggest everybody refuse to pay their license.
Well,
I could sure have a few good meals on what I pay.
Yeah.
we need to figure out a way to abolish property taxes, and the city will follow it, because they don't have a school or anything to support.
Yeah,
So they're not, they don't have a city school system, they don't have anything.
but they've got to keep up. They got to keep up the walking trail, and they got to keep up the library, and they got to keep up the ballpark, and the other ballpark, and the other ballpark, and the other ballpark, and they've got to make sure they have an amphitheater.
You've got the splash park.
They got to have the splash park, and maybe build a pool.
The thing is,
We got to entertain these people, or they'll get restless and realize they ain't got no work.
all this stuff is totally irrelevant to the difficulty people are having on fixed and limited and actually decreasing income. You know, when your property values decrease from an average of $120,000 a home down to an average of $90,000 a home, and they raise your property assessments to increase taxation. We got fools in government.
And when
We
you
got
got
fools leading us.
no, they're smart enough to spend their money.
High taxation and oppression in a police state.
When you have,
People need to wake up. We live in a friggin' police state.
if you hadn't noticed, the money supply has somewhere like doubled in the recent times. I don't know, I can't give you a date, but when you double the money supply, what you have really done is reduced the value of money by 1/2.
True.
That's taxation that you can't even see.
Well, what I can't, yeah, exactly. Inflation is a form of taxation. Lotteries is a form of taxation on the ignorant poor.
Yeah, it's tax on the stupid.
You notice certain people on certain TV shows buy lottery tickets constantly and swear up down their helping the educational system. Well, my question is, every time you win, you hurt the educational system. You know,
Yeah, give them, turn the money back in.
there's no logic or common sense behind any of this oppression that we live under.
Now wait a minute, there is too.
You know, I can choose between McDonald's, Burger King, and Sonic, and that's about the only freedom I have anymore. And they'll be regulating that eventually. They're trying to.
Well, as you well know, both governments, local, state, and federal, depend on having an underprivileged and poor class to appease and to give to, and that's what keeps them in power.
Well, let me tell you something else. They have to have a terribly or a totally ignorant society. And they've spent 100 years forcing people by law to attend their schools, in which they dumb down and stupidize the American people.
Are you
Dumb
familiar?
them
There's
down.
no cure for stupid.
Are you familiar with the term useful idiots?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I've got a book by that title,
Yeah.
written by
These checks that they send,
31